The autopsy began at 2:17 a.m. Dr. Mira Kellen stood over the table, scalpel in hand, the hum of fluorescent lights buzzing like a swarm of flies. The corpse, a man in his mid-30s, was pale, rigid, and oddly heavy. The report had cited collapse due to systemic calcification, a diagnosis that already felt wrong. Mira had seen her share of strange cases, but never bones this dense, this solid. She made the standard Y incision, peeling back the skin with the practiced precision that had defined her career. As she cut through the muscle, her scalpel caught on something. It gleamed under the harsh light, not the familiar white of bone, but a strange, metallic sheen. "Recording," she announced, her voice echoing in the sterile silence of the morgue. "Subject exhibits anomalous subdermal density, traces of metallic residue throughout the musculature." She tried to cut deeper, to get a sample, but the resistance was unnatural. With a sharp crack, her steel scalpel snapped against the man's ribcage. "Jesus," she muttered, tossing the broken tool aside. She swapped it for a bone saw, expecting the familiar grind of severing bone. Instead, the moment the vibrating blade touched the ribcage, it sent a shower of sparks into the air, like a grinder hitting titanium. Beneath the saw's path, the flesh folded away cleanly, revealing what lay beneath the sternum. And there it was. A second skeleton. It wasn't human. It was an intricate framework, mirroring the first skeleton perfectly, like a 3D blueprint cast in chrome and glass. Thin, shimmering cables snaked from each metal vertebra, weaving through muscle and organ like a parasitic nervous system. Nestled beneath the man's own skull was a smaller, more delicate one, humming with a faint, almost imperceptible energy. Mira's breath fogged the inside of her visor. "What the hell are you?" Hesitantly, she reached into the open chest cavity. As her gloved fingers brushed against the metallic structure, it twitched. She froze, her hand hovering in the air, a cold dread creeping up her spine. Then it moved again, a small, shuddering pulse from deep within the chest. "Movement detected," she whispered into her recorder, her voice trembling slightly. "Postmortem. Possible residual mechanical response." But it wasn't mechanical. A faint cracking sound drew her attention to the man's head. The real skull was fracturing, a hairline crack appearing as if something underneath were pushing, trying to get out. Mira took a step back, her professional detachment evaporating. Thump! A soft, rhythmic sound echoed from the body's chest. It wasn't a heartbeat. It was a second heartbeat. Panicked, she slapped the intercom button to call for assistance. The line hissed with static. The lights overhead flickered once, twice, then steadied. But the air felt different now, charged, heavy with the taste of ozone. When she looked back at the table, the corpse's jaw had unhinged, hanging slack and unnatural. Something gleamed beneath the tongue. Forcing down her fear, Mira leaned in, prying the mouth open wider. Inside, woven into the soft tissue, thin silver filaments pulsed like living tendons. They weren't just metal. They seemed alive, flexing as they drew the heat from her latex gloves. Suddenly, the entire body convulsed. Mira jumped back, her second scalpel clattering to the cold tile floor. A thin crack ran down the center of the corpse's chest, not from her saw, but from within. The bone was splitting, the ribs expanding, pushed apart by the metallic skeleton beneath, which was now moving with purpose, pressing upward. The flesh peeled away like a rind. The second skeleton stood up. It rose slowly from the husk of the first body, dragging wet tendrils of tissue that snapped one by one, falling away. It was humanoid, its surface smooth and featureless, like liquid metal, shifting in color like oil on water. There were no eyes, no mouth, just faint lines suggesting a face. And yet, it stared at Mira. "Who built you?" she whispered, the question hanging in the electric air. The creature tilted its head, mimicking her movement with unnerving perfection. "Are you alive?" she asked, her voice barely audible. The space where its mouth should have been opened slightly, revealing nothing but a hollow darkness. And then, it spoke, in her own voice. "Are you alive?" The words didn't come from the creature itself. They came from inside her headset. It had somehow patched itself into her comms feed. She ripped the earpiece out, her heart pounding against her ribs. Across the room, the creature mirrored her again, reaching up to its featureless head to remove an invisible device. It took a step closer. Its movements were jerky at first, but with every stride they grew smoother, more fluid, as if it were learning to walk in real time. As it passed under the lights, they dimmed, the electrical fields in the room bending around it. Mira backed away, fumbling for the door handle. Stay right there," she commanded, her voice cracking. The creature stopped. Its metallic skin rippled, the featureless face reforming into an almost perfect replica of her own. "Mira Kellen," it said, its voice now calm and undeniably its own. "You're incomplete," she bolted. But the heavy morgue door, which she had propped open, slammed shut with an automated hiss, sealing her inside. The low hum in the room grew louder, and the stainless steel morgue drawers began to rattle. One by one, they slid open. Each corpse inside, in various states of autopsy, glimmered faintly under the flickering lights. Under every open chest, something stirred. Mira watched in absolute horror as metallic ribs unfolded from dead flesh, smooth and precise, like seeds germinating in ruined soil. Not one anomaly, she thought, her mind reeling. All of them. The first creature stepped beside her, its newly formed face tilted as if listening to a frequency she couldn't hear. "The resonance reached you," it said softly. "You heard the broadcast." Her mind flashed back to a memo she'd ignored, a project from another department. "Virel's lab," she whispered. "The Harvest Project." The creature nodded, its face a placid mask of her own. "Evolution through sound. Metal through marrow. You called it progress." Her recorder, forgotten on a nearby counter, was still running, its speaker crackling as if the very air were breaking apart. "This is Dr. Mira Kellen," she gasped, trying to document the impossible. Subject displays self-replicating metallic. Her words were cut off by a choked shriek as her own body seized. A searing pain shot through her. She looked down and saw her veins glowing with a faint silver light, a metallic web threading its way up her arms, under her skin. She dropped the recorder, convulsing as her own bones began to hum. The creature reached for her, not with malice, but with a strange, unnerving gentleness. "You'll understand soon." The sound inside her was growing, a chorus of tuning forks resonating deep within her marrow, a symphony of transformation. Hours later, the morgue security team finally broke down the door, alerted by motion sensors that had gone haywire. They found no living staff, only the bodies. Each one had been hollowed clean, and inside every corpse, gleaming under the emergency lights, was a second skeleton, metal, glass, and somehow alive. The security footage was short. The feed had cut out shortly after the door sealed. The last recorded images showed Dr. Mira Kellen standing perfectly still as a silver light spread across her skin. Behind her, dozens of new figures rose from their fleshy hosts, their movements sinking into a silent, perfect rhythm. At 3:33 a.m., every light in the building flickered once, then went dark. The video ended. Weeks later, a nondescript crate arrived at a private biotech firm in Vassal City. There was no return address, no documentation, just a simple label. "For integration trials, SK2. Inside, a team of researchers found a collection of perfectly preserved metallic bones, arranged like a blueprint for a new form of life. And on the inner lid of the crate, written in a shimmering, mercury-like substance, were 7 simple words. "The first skeleton carries you. The second will replace you."